Greetings and welcome to Alonzobashpodcast, where art and culture meets activism. In today's episode, Alonzo chats with DMV's own Vibesmaster G Nice. We're diving deep into the heart of the music scene, uncovering the raw stories you've never heard before. From DJ Super Slice crowning him with that iconic name to the night dance hall took over the Ritz in Washington, D.C. Want to make it big as a DJ and host? G Nice has got the insider tips you need. This man's journey is wild. From Love Power Days, Clubhouse, Settings, Crossroads, DC Live to massive festivals. He's seen it all, done it all, and now he's sharing it all. Trust me, this isn't your average interview. It's a vibe, it's a movement, it's Vibesmaster G Nice on Alonzobashpodcast. Get ready to be inspired, entertained, and maybe even shocked. The Alonzobashpodcast starts now.
Greetings, welcome to the Alonzobashpodcast. I'm your host, Alonzo Bash. And today's special edition. You know, when I say special edition, I really do mean special edition, man. This brethren right here, I've known him for a long time. I want to tell you, man, a brethren among the brethren. This guy right here, I've learned so much about the entertainment space, wow. Especially when it comes to hosting. This guy right here is about blueprint. You know what I mean? And there's always so much to learn, man. Without further ado, don't want to waste no time. G Nice, man. Welcome. An
intro like that, I don't think I can follow that, but I'm going to try. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, before I get into the meat of the program / discussion, interview, whatever you want to call it, I want to take some time out to say, bro, I'm very, very proud of you. I remember when this movement just started, you know, you could see the growth from where you just started, one screen, figuring out what system you want to use. Long story short, here we are. You're well organized, the screen's clean. It's a well thought out process now. You can see the growth. And for that and nothing else, bro, trust me when I tell you, I'm proud of you. Because I know the struggle is real. You know, you really found out who your friends were when you started doing this. Go there. I just leave you with this, Alonzo. And I'm sure you can attest to this. That's what makes the journey even that much more fulfilling. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you took on something. It was a challenge. This whole technology thing and streaming, easy to look from a distance and say, oh, just that. But when you get into the crux of it, to have it done the right way, which you are doing, it does take work and time that the average person doesn't see behind the scenes what it takes for you to just even bring this to light. So I say to you, bro, good luck, Godspeed, and all the best in whatever you continue to do. I love this. Much respect.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, man. I really appreciate that, man, because a lot of people, I make it look easy. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. I'm thankful. Yeah, I'm thankful. It's work, but it's something that it's work, but it don't really feel like work because I really enjoy doing it. It's a big difference, you know. And what fun fact, as you know, I started this podcast. The original name of the podcast when I first started was back in 2020. And the original name was The Statement. And you were the very first person I interviewed.
Yeah, I remember that, correctly. I did that in my basement. I remember that.
Right. And right before the interview, right around that time was the beginning of the whole COVID-19. I remember we wasn't sure what was going on and so forth.
Exactly.
And obviously I started and I stopped. You know, life gets in the way, as you know. And then I've been supposed to get back into it. And then one day I said, I think it was last year for Baltimore Carnival. I did a Facebook Live. And then the response was so great. And people say, hey, Zo, man, you know, whatever happened to the podcast you started, you know, you need to get back into it. I was like, you know what? You're right. And moving forward, here we are.
Yeah, man. Proud of you, bro. Proud of you.
Yeah, man.
One of the things you mentioned in the intro, to this day, I take it as a compliment, but you don't need no help, bro. You don't need no help. You just wanted to see some things play out in front of you to figure out how you going to carve your niche. So you can trick somebody else with that. Can't fool me. You don't need no I'm going to say, though, it has been a learning experience. I always felt like I had the ability to organize and bring people together to accomplish that end result, especially like that whole stage coordinating thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be very, very blunt. It is not as fulfilling as people think. Like, it's very challenging because keep in mind, you have relationships that you build with people prior to any given event.
Yes.
From the day of the event is like the atmosphere change. You know, they working with promoters who are actually putting on the event, promoters who are actually promoting a different event, or DJs plus the staffing. It's a lot of people coming together that you have to figure out a way to balance the needs and still represent the brand that you're working for.
Yeah.
And That's why I said for somebody like yourself, you're very observant. You made some observations at Culture Fest that caused me to say, okay, he gets it. That's why if you notice, my interaction with you is not necessarily saying, when you have this event, do this. We just talk. I don't know what you're trying to absorb, but I know when you're backstage, you're looking at certain things, whether it be me, how the stages run, just how people observe stuff. So that's why I say all interactions at events have never been like Alonzo, make sure you get there on time, Nah, bro. You know the deal. It's just the lay of the land. You have to understand who you're working with.
Yeah.
I work for different people, and I cannot work for the same way I work for Arthur that I work for Jason.
Yeah.
Shout out to Arthur Griffith, Jason from BK Entertainment.
Yeah.
I can't work for them the same way I would work for, somebody I do a private house party for.
Yeah.
So it's get an understanding. Get an understanding of who you're working for, what the brand is trying to accomplish, and then from that, you can pretty much see how your skill sets can, fuse with what they're trying to so-called bring to light. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, But I'm understanding. I can honestly say, anybody listening, whether you're live or reviewing this, one thing I can pass on, don't think you know everything. You have to understand what the people want and how they want to do it, and see if you can then match your skill sets with that. If you coming in saying, hey, I'm the great so-and-so and so, the communication is not going to bring forth and bring to light what you need to get the job done. And come day of, problems.
Facts. I definitely appreciate that insight. All right, so before we get started, man, I really wanted to dip into your backstory of pretty much who you are. A lot of people in DMV, listen, you've been around the game for a long time, and of course, that comes with a high level of respect when I say that. But a lot of people really don't know who is G Nice, born and raised and stuff like that. So you're from Jamaica originally. I'm assuming, because I always see the flag. I always see the flag.
No, I'm not going to put a major hype. I make people guess where I'm from. I'm originally from Jamaica. I came to the United States and teamed up with. I'm trying to put everything in a shortened version because it's a long story, but I'm not gonna leave out the crucial details, but I'm gonna pick what I feel are really important things. So there are several players in this game. The young lady I was dating at the time when I moved to the United States knew some guys that I knew from Jamaica that had a sound system called Love Power.
Okay.
What Love Power did in the DMV era is that they played a lot of those parties that, like, say, Howard University students would attend. So Sprang International, wherever you are, you can definitely tap into what I'm about to describe. There were some parties that used to take place in DC that Howard students used to go, specifically on Kenyon Street. Oh my God. Let me tell you, when you talk about basement party, bro, place so dark, you can't see the person in front of you kind of thing, but it's a vibe. Kind of So you had quite a few of the Caribbean students that attended Howard that would then gravitate to those parties. So if it's not Kenyon Street, it's one block up or down. So everything was in that central area. So people, you had a party crowd. The faces were familiar no matter what. So the girl I was dating at the time now went to these guys that had the sound system, two brothers, Chris and Kevin Shaw. Kevin is no longer with us. Rest in peace, my bro.
And my condolences.
Kevin, there's a lot I have to say. I'm not trying to put everything in a bottle, but this is important. Kevin is the one who gave me the break in the United States. I used to be aware of DJing, but I didn't do it when I was in Jamaica because I still felt I had a lot to learn. I would go party and study like a book. Good, bad, or in between. I'm not just going hot parties. I go dance, I go host party. I'm not going to know you, but I'm close enough to the DJ area to see what's going on. I'm not saying I'm watching to see you fail, but I'm watching to see how you do something to see if I can learn from it.
Yeah.
And okay, you know what? I'm all over the place.
You're good, man.
Here. Rory from Stone Love.
Yeah.
Is somebody while I was in Jamaica before I came to the United States. I take Jamaica and put it in the palm of his hand and wrap it up like a ball and say, how do you like me now? Trust me. It's not, well, it still is, but Stone Love basically started out like what you call a rum bar sound system. So they would play at like those bars that you just pull up and just have a drink outside, or you go inside and you get it, right? So their sound system was set up outside with those big tall speakers. So they played for more like a mature-minded crowd. As the saying goes, rum bar crowd. Rory's from England. So when he came to the United States as a youngster, then he partnered up with Weepaw, which is the owner of Stone Love. And then he put a more younger flavor on Stone Love.
Okay.
Because before that, Weepo will be playing up more at the rum bar places where they get Gregory Isaacs and your Studio Wonder. So Rory came now. Rory convinced him to allow him now to go the other way with it, which is to play for the younger crowd, the Shabarans, the Buju Bantans, and whatever. So long story short, you know the rest. Rory basically puts Stoner out there. So Rory is one of the people I mentioned is a set that I say, if you were able to see that guy in his prime, to this day, when you hear that name, you'll say to yourself, wow, this guy, it was like a performance. Yeah. Something as simple as how the flyers are read, how him organize the records, when to talk, when not to talk, how to introduce a person, when to take the bass out, when not to take the bass out. This guy open up dancehall sometimes, Alonzo, and don't say anything for 5 minutes.
That's science to it, man.
And people still busting blank and firing shots at her air. So I say, let me see what I can learn from somebody like him. Another DJ in Jamaica I learned from is this guy called Squeeze. He played the sound system called Peacemaker. And these are the infamous day fets we used to have in Jamaica, where certain high schools, they would keep parties during the daytime on a Saturday to raise funds for different things for the school. So then you would hire like a DJ or sound system that come in, and then other high schools come and party at your school. This guy played disco music, Alonzo. To be clear, disco music for over 4.5, 5 hours, probably 2 reggae in Jamaica. The thing I learned from him was beat matching, the ability to make one record just transition to another seamlessly to the point where like 15 minutes after listening to him, I'm like, yo, when did he switch from so-and-so?
Yeah, you realize.
So that now has caused me to say, okay, his ability to do that, in my interpretation, was caused the crowd to really feel the vibe because they didn't break beat. I used to call it head bobbing, right? Because once they start doing this, it doesn't break for hours.
Yeah.
And that amazed me. And he was able to have access to some of the best equipment in Jamaica at the time because the sound system traveled a lot. Okay. So when I came to the US now and I met with Kevin and them, I kind of had some kind of schooling already, but I didn't tell them. Yeah. So when I came to the US now and started dating this girl, she went to them and said, hey, you might want to check this guy out because sometimes when I go by his place, I hear mix it up stuff. He could probably add something to this system. They were a little hesitant at the start. Remember, it's 2 brothers and they're already doing it. So they're like, what's the use of this guy? He's coming in to play disco music. Nobody going with disco music in DC. It's pure reggae people want to hear. I had a trick up my sleeve. When I came here, a lot of the people I partied with in high school was going to Howard.
Okay.
So when I started infusing this so-called disco vibe, they were like, yo, that's what you used to party to Jamaica. You know, so it took on a little movement with Love Power. So we had our own little niche. So we started keeping parties like at Days Inn on Rockland by hotel ballroom kind of stuff. And I'll go on record. I don't know if you can hear my sound effects here, but I'll go on record and say we were the ones that kept the first garage party in the DMV area. Booty Drive in Rockland. Check the history books on that one. People coming from New York for that. Yep. Yeah. And the name of the event was called Kingston 13 if you keep in score at home. The history books on that. Yeah. So a friend of us had a garage. We used to clear out the garage and keep a party there once a month or something like that. Yeah. That pretty much was how another way we got so-called popular in the area. Over time, and Gale from Crossroads decided to say, hey, these guys from Love Power acting like they're running the area. We're going to challenge them to a clash. Elton at that time was running Reggae Clubhouse, 13th and Upshur. One of the DJs was DJ Superspace. Yeah, man. Hey, it is something. The lineup at Clubhouse was no joke. Okay. Yeah. Slice is DJ in Blurby G's, CeeLo. But CeeLo came after the fact. But when we did the clash, the Reggae Clubhouse was the place to go to for music in the DMV area. I mean, the best sound system, you're talking 1,000 to 1,500 people on a weekend, Friday and Saturday night with no apology. And we, as the Uptown sound system, was supposed to go down to the Reggae Clubhouse to challenge them. Yeah. The reason why I mentioned this challenge is because this is how I ended up getting the name G Nice. Okay. You see, prior to that, I was just Gary, our DJ Gary, because back then the name thing wasn't really a big thing. We went to the Clubhouse. We got the Clubhouse there because Alton basically was saying, hey, you guys acting like y'all that, but down by his place is the real vibe. So if you're really acting like you want to be holding the title of having the best parties in the DMV era, come play against us in our domain, so to speak. I don't know what Kevin was thinking to take on that clash. Trust me, and I tell you, way out of our league. Because when I say ask anybody Alonzo. Reggae Clubhouse 13th and Upshur was the go-to place in DC for reggae music, dancehall, hardcore.
Yeah.
Hands down. So we accepted it. Type of person I am. Wasn't really cool, but I went along because as a part of the team. So I decided to go to the club the week before. But I went undercover. I didn't let Alta know I was coming, snuck in, and I was in the cut. So I'm in the cut now because I said, I have to go check out this vibe that everybody talking about.
Right.
What I hearing on the street just don't sound right. 1,000, 1,500 people with no ad on the radio, no flyer. I said, this is not true. So I went, sure enough, the place have a vibe from like around 11 o'clock.
Okay.
So I'm in the cut now checking it out. Sure enough, Alton is walking through the crowd and bumps into me. Recognize, when he bumps into me, he says, yo, man, glad to see you. I said, why, what's up? So it turns out my DJ fell asleep because I can't get in touch with him. I'm assuming he fell asleep. Can you come into the booth with me to play for the rest of the night? This is now probably 11:30.
Right.
I am now going into the DJ booth with Alton for him to take records that are already in the DJ booth and hand them to me, and I'm supposed to mix to over 1,000+ people in Reggae Clubhouse for the first time. So long story short, that
you didn't know what's in there.
Dude, long story short, handle it. So he said at the end of the night, bro, after the clash next week, if you want come through, you can't. There's a space here for you.
Yeah.
At that point, I'll be honest with you, I felt I outgrew Love Paul.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it got to the point where I ended up being, a main part of it with his brother as the DJ is. But I felt there was more to do out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just so happened that came to light. So, and I made the transition the first night. Slice was like, when he came, he's like, yo, man, welcome aboard, blah, 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 blah. So I knew of Slice before that. But this is not us going to work officially together. Slice said, man, before we start the night, that DJ Gary thing ain't going to fly down here. You need to have a name. So I'm like, I said, that's what people know me as. That's a name, man. So he was like, well, all right, well, who do you like? So I said, well, in the music business, to be honest with you, I've always admired D Nice from a distance because coming up as a young DJ, he was basically looked at as the next great thing. Young DJ decided to produce. And, back in the hip hop days, that was unheard of to have a producer that young, producer slash DJ. And I just like his style, seemed like a humble guy. So and I said, cool. I like D Nice. So I said, okay, well, you're G Nice. Yeah. That was it. Simple as that.
So Slice is the one that crung you G Nice.
Right there. It happened like between 10 and 10:30 that Saturday night because he said that I did this before the night. So I can remember that was my first night,
Yeah.
So we were now going to introduce ourselves as the Saturday night duo.
Okay.
So Alton brought me in on a Saturday night at Clubhouse in the prime time spot with Slice.
Yeah.
So that was like Slice was saying, no, bro, you can't have no DJ gear and Super Slice right. We have to come in like we're a team. Which we did come in as a team. So that's where the name thing came in. So the rest is history. We used to kill Clubhouse. Kill it. So over the years, we then invited CeeLo to come aboard because CeeLo used to come and do like a go-go set for around 10 minutes. And let me tell you something, man. That guy's 10-minute set made us have to work as dancehall DJs. This dude had this place going. Sometimes, when CeeLo finished his set to them, there is no record you can play after that. That is going to be considered like a break or a mix to be like.
Goes in the bar.
No, you have to hit song after song after CeeLo. Rest in peace, my bro. He really brought out an extra element out of myself and Slice that I really think would have really taken us to that level on our own. I mean, he really challenged us musically because he was a student of the game, which a lot of people don't know. Guess DJs who worked with him knew that. But that guy was more than dropping bombs and go-go. That was a student of the game right there.
Imagine floating on the Chesapeake Bay, waves gently lapping, stress melting away. Now picture this, a spa but make it nautical. Welcome to Be Well Boats by Floating Needs. We're not just boats, we're floating sanctuaries of bliss. Drift away your worries with a massage while cruising the coastline. Choose from dockside, open water, or beachfront wellness experiences. Aromatherapy, hot stone massages, henna, scalp treatments. We're redefining relaxation. Why settle for ordinary when you can float to extraordinary? Perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, bridal parties, even waterfront weddings. Located at Canton Waterfront, Baltimore. Ready for your aquatic escape? Call 844-727-BOAT or visit floatingneeds.com. Your relaxation awaits.
Shipping nightmares? Not anymore. Let me spill the tea on stress-free international shipping. Jay's Hassle-Free International is the game changer you've been waiting for. Air, ocean, Caribbean, Dominican Republic. They've got it all covered. And those special rates? Absolutely amazing. Full container or just a corner, their prices will make your wallet do a happy dance. No more headaches over complicated shipping. Just call the shipper lady at 443-927-5816 and watch your worries vanish. Trust me, once you try Jay's Hassle-Free International, you'll wonder how you ever lived without them. Wave goodbye to shipping stress and hello to smooth sailing. Serving Pennsylvania, Delaware, and the DMV. Remember that number, 443-927-5816. Your stress-free shipping journey starts now.
Trust me, I tell you that. Much more, but I guess people remember him as a hip-hop DJ.
Yeah.
See, the plays house music, Mix. I'm not talking like, just slap on. I'm talking mixed classics. And that guy, trust me, I used to have some real in-depth music conversations with him that I didn't even know it was that deep for him. But the side he chose to show, which is a hip-hop side. But that dude is different to me. Rest in peace. But anyway, did Clubhouse for a while. Then Clubhouse got locked down. Won't really go into the politics of that, but long story short, over time, the place developed a reputation. And, eventually it got shut down. Alton then moved to where Dream is, which it was called Oakey Street at that point. But he couldn't get the different permits approved for the area. So he had to then pretty much leave that project. And then Mark Barnes and them took over that whole strip and built it out. So he then went to Crossroads. Crossroads is a biker bar at that point.
Yeah, I will ask you, what was Crossroads before? You said it was a biker bar?
Redneck biker bar. And I'm just being very blunt. Biker bar. I'm talking Sturgis type stuff. So he took it over. And man, hey, I tell you, people are something else. That guy basically, with his own hands, with the help of probably a couple of people here and there, strip down that place, do whatever was necessary to get it up and running to open the first side by himself. Trust me. Because the issue was, we had to really tear away a lot. The decorations. I mean, it's a biker bar. What can I say? You really had to do a lot to get it to that space. But anyway, did what was necessary. That Crossroads open. Nobody coming. I must have dry in Alonzo. Dry. Okay. So Sinite, shout out to Sinite.
So what year was this? What year we looking at
this? In the 90s, basically, because
mid-90s,
late 2000. I would say late.
I would say probably early 2000s.
Yeah, it's probably more early 2000s. Yeah, it's early 2000s. As a matter of fact, 9/11 was when? 2000.
That was 2000. Wasn't that 2011?
I use that as a reference, but
September.
Mark Mans was trying to jump on that club at that point, and it got back down that year. So the Crossroads would have been probably like 3-4 years before. I don't really get too specific with the dates, but they transferred from Oakey Street to Crossroads. Again, the challenge was to bring people there. I was at Settings at that point.
That was 2001.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it would have been late 90s then.
Yeah,
I went from Settings to Crossroads to try and get the Saturday night jumping off.
Yeah.
So luckily, I'll be honest with you, at that point, DC, I did kind of have DC a little way, put it that way. I'm cocky, into myself, but I'm just be honest with you. There came a point where, I was definitely doing my thing in the DC area, right? So when I made the transition to Crossroads for the Saturday night, it went well, very well.
Yeah.
Very, very well. So the Saturday night jumped off to the point where it was self-maintained. People come, but the reputation, for whatever reason, was that I just play dancehall.
Okay.
Because I'm being Jamaican. So my thing was, but if you come and experience it, because what I did was I brought what I call the high school Jamaican style to Saturday night partying, which is you can get some slow jams, some disco music, some I'll Do Anything For You and some Luther and some soca. But you had to come to experience the whole thing. But people just think it was just bean man, bounce, killer bounce. So the challenge was Saturday was doing very well. Friday night, dry.
Friday night, dry.
Dry. Like the place closed down.
Wow.
So one day me and Alton talking to Alton and say, yo, bro, what can we do to do something about the Friday?
Yeah.
So we came up with this idea. Flip the script on John Public, because the Caribbean community was a little bit splintered back then. It was Trini over here, Jamaican over here. So trust me when I tell you on that. So the issue was, if I being from Jamaica, some from the Caribbean community wouldn't warm up to me just because of the fact that Jamaica set me playing soca. And I'm keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. We have grown a lot. I can say currently 2025, a lot of that has changed. But back then, trust me, in some circles, the line was drawn. And that's okay. No problem with that. So what we decided to do, primarily in the discussion, I won't take full credit, but I was the driving force behind the discussion. Here's what we said. If Saturday, because the person was not even talking to me in the first place, he was like, bro, I just want to give you some feedback about the Saturday night. It's going really well, but what can we do about the Friday? So here's the idea. If they feel Saturday is more Jamaican driven, why not flip the script and make them feel Friday is more Trini/soca driven? So what's the lineup? Friday night was built around John Blake hosting Sprag, Body's Music Machine. You can't get any more soca than that.
You're right.
Then what could we do to draw people there? And that was the infamous, the happy hour menu. Very simple. Celery sticks, some carrots, the chicken wings, drink special. Boom, shakalaka. And that's how the Friday night was born. What happened then now, with that push behind the happy hour leading into the dance party, so you have whoever doing happy hour in the early, the whole goal was to have John Blake there, because John Blake will attract the working professionals, The goal was, if you're coming home from work, coming up from DC especially, and you hit that Peace Cross here, why go home? Just pop into Crossroads, hold a drink on at the happy hour special. One drink turned into two before Alonzo walk up and down with the tie on his head. It's 11 o'clock. Then spin them start fire up the place with sometimes because you take a wine, it's 1:15, and you're coming home in your suit or your work clothes. So that really blew through the window. That Friday night, as you know, was something else. Shout out to Span, because at the end of the day, from a DJ perspective, he definitely held it down, as the saying goes. If Sprang really carved that soca niche for that night. So here goes the Friday. Did the Saturdays, Abdul decided to do the Ritz from Abdul Productions, Abdul from Air DC. So I kind of jumped ahead a little. That transition from Oakey Street, that time frame from Clubhouse to Oakey Street, Abdul came there one night and saw the crowd. I was like, yo, bro, I came down here with a partner to look into doing house music on a Wednesday night. He's like, how the hell do you guys get so much people down here on a Thursday night for reggae music? He was just blown away. So he was so blown away, he left and came back 2 weeks later and said, yo, I need a reggae DJ. I have an idea. So we started laughing because we were like, reggae DJ for what? He's like, man, I'm getting ready to do a Wednesday night reggae party. Bro, when he said we were laughing, like stomach curl up laughing. Because we're like, bro, that ain't gonna work if it's not somewhere like the Clubhouse or somewhere grinding. Because we were saying reggae has to be done in a grinding environment to really get the vibe. He's like, no, y'all got it twisted. You need to take this uptown. I remember this conversation so vividly. He said, you need to take this uptown. To him, uptown was like Northwest DC. He had an idea. You know where he took it? The Ritz nightclub in Washington, D.C.
I remember that.
Ritz was the club, not just the Caribbean thing. I'm talking the club. You have your celebrities like Tyson, Keith Sweat, anybody who was anybody was coming through that place. But he knew one of the owners. He was able to convince the guy to give up the place on a Wednesday to the reggae. And let me tell you, I know this for a fact. I was involved in some of the discussions. They didn't want the reggae there. Remember back then, it's still coming from the whole Jamaican,
riff-raff.
The colors wasn't too. Back then it wasn't too cute to be flashing the colors. I'm just giving it to you. The colors come a long way, right? So the owner's concern was bringing that type of vibe to his club. Coming from Keith Sweat and Mike Tyson on a Friday and a Saturday night to weed smoking and potential gun violence on a Wednesday. So the owner said, all right, you know what? Just give you a one floor. So he gave Abdul the first floor. Alonzo, the guy's bar ran out probably, I think, like 12 o'clock.
Wow.
To capacity. So the guy was like, wait a minute. All right, come back next week. But now we're going to give you 2 floors. Bar run out 2 floors. So eventually 3 floors.
Wow.
With the Wednesday night. So
when he talks, man.
He brought Slice was the main DJ. And then follow me on this, because we're connecting some dots here.
Yeah.
Slice was the main DJ. Yeah. However, here comes Abdul's nemesis, Mark Mans at the time.
Yeah.
Mark Mans decided to say, okay, Abdul had a hot party during the week. No, I'm talking on a Wednesday night. No, Wicked Wednesday at the Ritz was the thing. Okay?
Yeah.
Mark Mans said, okay, I see your Wicked Wednesday and raise your Wicked Wednesday, and decides to reach out to Kid Capri, who at that point was the DJ back in Martin. He went free and had Slice, Kid Capri, a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I think you know where I'm going with it.
Yeah, man.
So, dude wasn't too okay.
Yeah.
So without going into the details, Abdul reach out to me. He's like, yo, man, you and Slice always vibing on a Wednesday anyway. You gonna do this, right? So I did it. Then I think what they anticipated happening was the place they did it in DC, the turnout. They got over 2,000 people. It was one of the biggest turnouts for like a weeknight thing. Yeah, man, it was wicked.
Yeah.
So they felt that by doing that, the owner would have said, okay, let's parlay that into every Tuesday thing.
Yeah.
No. The owner was like, one and done, get out. You know? So it didn't then roll into the every Tuesday thing afterwards. So anyway, so I did basically, I would say not practically, every club that Abdul has had in the DC area, I did the Caribbean floor. And I'm going to take this opportunity to say to that guy, maximum respect. He's from Sierra Leone, and this guy adopted the culture. No, don't get me wrong. I could see where he saw the opportunity to make money from it. Yeah. But he also kept the presence of the culture in a way that back then, it was unheard of to go on a Caribbean floor in any club, much less to have the Jamaican flag painted on the floor on the wall. Yeah. Come on, bro. I can honestly tell you, back then it wasn't needed from a standpoint of it was primarily a hip-hop culture. So you had a reggae room or a reggae floor. But for him, for all the places I played at, he gave it the extra push. And I kind of respect that, which it wasn't necessary. But he always made sure the reggae room was right. And I would give him that. Trust me, I tell you, I have much respect for that. Because back then, most people didn't do that. The DJ played a couple of reggae songs and that was it. No. Every one of the places, I got a chance to do a walkthrough before the place opened. He was like, hey, the song's all right. What do you think about that? And he definitely took on reggae in a way that it had to have a floor in any place. If it was a lounge, trust me, man. So, Abdul, big up yourself. So we did the jumping around for the DC Live, the H2Os, Lux Lounge, Bliss, and then now he's like here.
A lot of clubs, came and went,
What?
No, I said a lot of clubs came and went. Big names, man.
Tell you, part of the issue is, as you can see where we are now, the entertainment vibe has evolved into different things for different people. I personally feel the tables and bottles is a killer. And I understand from a club owner standpoint, that was probably the best day of their lives because it accelerated the potential to make money. But from an entertainment standpoint, it killed the vibe because it caused everybody to become too cool. You can't have a table and be busting skank. You have to rock warm and easy. I'm like, come on, Alonzo, if you love it, bust a skank. No. Can't do that. Rocking a bottle right now. So you have to have the cool bottle, slow. I'm like, come on, man. Nobody goes into the middle of the dance floor anymore if you hear your favorite song. That's just not cool anymore. So because of it, that's not cool anymore. For me personally, I've been doing a lot more private parties. And man, that's where you see people enjoy themselves, man. Because these parties are more like everybody kind of know everybody.
So people more free.
If you bust a dance on Alonzo and you drop and bust your ass, that's not reaching Facebook and it's not on no reel or whatever.
True.
That's probably all a new dance for the party because everybody have tried to do the dance you doing when you drop on the floor. Right? Enjoy yourself. But no, everybody and the entertainment window is very small now. The event is 10 to 2. People come in 12:30, 1 o'clock. Superstars come like 1:45.
Superstars.
You have to work the crowd and you walk through the crowd. So, it's different now. But just as you go along, you figure out where you fit in the grand scheme of things, which is why I said now where I spread myself, a little of the DJing still, some hosting, the prayer. You know what I'm saying? Because as I said, most of it, when I say has passed me in the sense that what people look at now as a vibe is not necessarily what I am looking to participate in. In addition, from a club owner, promoter standpoint, it's super today. boy, we got a party last week, Alonzo mash up the place. You get booked for the next 6 parties.
Yeah.
But by party number 4, Johnny X mash up that party.
Yeah.
If you get 5 and 6, them all cancel those dates. You know why? Because everybody jumping. So you see what I'm saying? It's very fluid right now. If you are willing to go that fast and you can maintain that pace because you're drawing a crowd or you're doing the do as the saying goes, and do you. But it's different now. It's different now.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's talk about the DJ thing. Folks have complained. I think this complaint been going wrong for a long time. A lot of times to go to a party and they hear the same 5, 10 top songs that you hear continuously, which means one DJ play it, next DJ come on, doing the same thing, what have you. What's your opinion on that?
Let me ask you a question before I get to that.
Yeah.
If you can think back to the last party that you went to, that it's a vibe. Like when you're driving home, you say, man, I'm glad I left my house. And let me tell you why that happened. You know why that happened? The first DJ, the early DJ, did their job. When the first DJ do their job, it makes it easier for the other DJs.
Okay.
It's when the first DJ tried to upstage the ones coming afterwards, that's where you hear one song 8 times for the night.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying every time, but this is my assessment that I'm passing on for most of what I see.
Yeah.
I say it this way is to say, from a promoter standpoint, if you're setting up a lineup or a DJ lineup for a party, you don't need no more than 3 DJs. Personally, I think 2 is perfect.
I agree. I think 3 should be the max.
That's fine. But the first DJ needs to know what line they shouldn't cross without being told. Find a way to entertain that first guy or girl that come in and is talking to the bartender, whether you get them to tap the foot, head bob, do something, but is you and that person. And then if 3 more come in, is you and the 3 plus the 1, so it's you and those 4 people. Act like it's 4,000 at that point. No, you're not screaming on the mic and carrying on, but you're trying to find what they like at that point and keep them entertained, meaning through the music, okay?
Yeah.
And you do that to the point that when you give it the handoff to the next person, I call it the stair-step approach. If the first person starts here, when you hand off, the vibe should be here. The next person that comes after you, you giving them the vibe here. So it's either equal to or greater than. Because if it drops, this person that coming in after has to now fill this gap plus trying to lift it. You see what I'm right there? So that person coming in is doing extra work unnecessarily. Now, life isn't that perfect. But then when you get to prime time, that's when now the closer or the semi-closer still needs to stay on point because the rush to bust the party is what caused you not to enjoy yourself. You see what I'm doing there?
Yeah, I agree.
The DJs that's responsible for the meat of the program lost focus of trying to entertain the crowd. It now became a let me try and bust the place. You see the difference?
Yeah.
So when let's get into the let me try and bust the place, that's usually when the music is not good.
Yeah.
If when they're looking at the crowd and recognize right now the hot cartel is XYZ, not literally, I'm just saying whatever the hot cartel is.
Yeah.
But right now in this party, Steel Pulse cause the people to sing. Which song you playing, Alonzo?
I mean, Pulse.
Thank you very much. However, I challenge you on this. That same scenario was put in front of some of these DJs right now and take out the cartel song and say the hot song is Dancer, the Escobar song.
Yeah.
All right? The DJ now have the choice to play Steel Pulse and get the people to sing along MTV style. It's on the whole thing. Or play Dancer and have the girl shake her ass. Which song you think the DJ played?
You know one thing too? I'm thinking about what you're saying too. But a lot of times too, we kind of older, we may have the advantage because we know Steel Pulse and we know the music. So for instance, if you're a DJ and you stand there and you look in the crowd and you see a couple of, maybe say Ella Rasta, on the corner on the side, and see, above on that side, you already kind of have a vibe in your brain. You're definitely gonna touch into that. But if you're young and you don't know much about Steel Pulse, your library in your brain is limited. A lot of guys will focus on their laptop, but not on their head. If that makes some sense.
Trust me, honestly, I totally with you from a standpoint of the ability to still want to say, okay, do I still need to read the crowd and say it's really Steel Pulse I need to go here? I'm not against dancer, the so-called gal shake your ass song. I'm saying time and place. But if you have the scenario where you have a bunch of DJs and they realize it's coming down to prime time, you ever look at a DJ area Like you look at the DJ like around 10 o'clock. It's dry. It's just the DJ that's playing that's there. If the event goes to 2 o'clock, look at that same era like around 1:15. There are like 20 people out there with laptops. So much lights, it look like RFs. You know what I'm saying? Where were you guys at 10 o'clock? Why not come early and see what the first DJ is doing to say what he does, he or she does, whether it work or doesn't work. And then by the time you start, you kind of have an idea as to how things got to that point.
Don't need that, man. Walk around the crowd, you know.
Again,
and stand in the back by the bar.
You have to remember too, you know, these things that are being mentioned now are not necessarily cool to do today.
Yeah.
Because you're applying technically, in my opinion, those are old school principles. You don't need to walk crowd. You can just read crowd from standing on the stage. No problem. If you still can accomplish the good end result, do you? I have a problem with that. To your earlier question though, yes, I feel a better job can be done in most cases in some of these parties where it does seem like it's a big build-up and it's anticlimactic coming on to the end for nothing more than it's a huge rush to do what I call the Black Chinese remix. You're getting 3 seconds out of the songs, bro. 3. Welcome to Jam Rock. One blood, dry cry. I mean, really.
Yeah.
So you get 8 songs in 10 seconds. And then you get a turnaround and a this, right? So if you're okay with that, hey, do you? I just feel right now you can still enjoy and have a time, as the saying goes, and vibes into the place, but make the records play a little longer, please. Let some of these songs play a little longer. That is the first step. I think once that starts, because if you remember, you know, especially in some of the dancehall environment, the issue is to do a lot of that to get the forward for the money pull up. So there's a money aspect to it too, which again is not a good thing, but is a part of that culture, and that's where it is. You know, the music is open format now. It's not just a soca DJ or a reggae DJ. You know, that look like this, a little R&B, some Afro beats, a mop piano, you know. So there's a lot more to read. That's why I say, you know, try and make the songs play a little longer and pay a little bit more attention to see what actually is needed for that event, and try to see if you can give the people a little vibe. So it's a boy, it's worth my while coming out.
Yeah. Well, there have been a lot of changes, of course, within a couple of years in the DMV, as far as economics is concerned. Promoters in the DMV, I mean, you have worked with, you know, quite a few. Of course, you've been on the ground, you've seen the changes from back then to now. What's some advice you have for some of the promoters? Say the younger ones and the ones that have been around, for your opinion on the landscape.
I feel you contribute when you feel you're a part of the team. And I say it that way to say there are some promotional teams that you feel you're a part of the team. Not necessarily like they invite you over the house to barbecue on a Sunday, but you're kept informed. So if your contribution is to do stage and work with the performers and make sure everything is on time to the drop dead closeout, you're a part of meetings. So you understand what is being told to the performers, educate them about coming prepared, stuff like that. You are introduced to these people, explaining what your role will be on day of, day before, day after. So there is no drama come day of. You know, you feel you're part of the team. Some people you work with, they trust that you can do it, so you don't get a lot of information. Why? Because the last time we didn't give you that much information and somehow you pull it off. So pull it off again. You have to find a way to balance getting information from the person who doesn't give you a lot, still be able to produce, and also for the person who gives you a lot to figure out how you can even be better for them. You know, no, but they have different styles, but it is not as rewarding as some would think, because a lot riding on your shoulders. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel sometimes, if the one thing I could say to all promoters is, I think somebody in my position, you need to give them a little bit more credit for what they do. Rather than just say, okay, well, the person got on stage and they performed for 45 minutes. And I'm like, oh yeah, but you didn't know that I had to go to the CVS and buy a zip drive to transfer the songs off my laptop because their DJ was running late. It's I'm saying that piece, I don't get paid for that. So when I come to these events now, I'm carrying an extra zip drive. I have my laptop with me. I have my headset. You know, I'm carrying all these different things, like, well, to cover what ifs. And in most cases, I have to resort to some of these what ifs, you know? So a better appreciation of that portion of just what goes into beyond getting the person to be on time on stage. Yeah, I think that was something that, it will cause people in my position to feel a little bit more motivated to say that it's worth taking crap from people because they think it's your decision.
Yeah.
That's the running battle I have now, is when I try to implement a structure on any given day, they think I'm pulling rank. And I'm like, yo, y'all got it twisted. I never pull rank. I ask what they want, and when they tell me, I'm going to execute.
Yeah.
I'm not making any rules on the spot to flex. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's what it's taken sometimes, because at that point, you're trying to then let them know there's a rule that you have to abide by. And most people don't like to be told that in public.
Yeah.
Close to stage here. So, no, the G Nice are trying to style me. I'm like, no. I think it's so stupid.
I want to tell people.
Recording. The world out there. Here's why I said that logic is stupid.
Yeah.
If you don't do your part, put it this way, if I allow you not to do your part and then the show goes off schedule, I am the one that's going to be held to task, Yeah. So why would I stand there and not encourage punctuality? Because when you look good, I look good. So come on, just do your part, which is if the schedule says your band set is from 6 till 7. Okay?
Yes.
You agree to do a 1-hour set. I coordinate things to get performers off and get you introduced at 7 o'clock on the dot. If when I introduce you, decide to do a band check, the drummer have to drum a little. You have to make sure the hi-hats are all right. You have to make sure the tweeters are tweeting. No problem. I did my part. I gave you the stage at 7 o'clock. So you take 10 minutes to do that. See where I'm going here? You take 10 minutes now to ching, 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 boom, boom, bam. No problem. Right. Okay, should I have to tell you, you need to probably take 1 or 2 songs out of your set because you took 10 minutes out of your hour to do your band check?
Trust me, they ain't going to do that either.
So now what happens is that band now decides to go not 1 hour. They decide to now end their set at like around 7:10, 7:15. You know why? Why? At the end, the crowd did have a little vibe. One more song. You know what's happening? You know what's happening right there? A DJ or somebody else who's supposed to perform is waiting. Or no, you have now gone over into their time to perform. That's not right.
No, they're struggling to rush.
Because this other person that's coming in after you, I am now going to have to probably tell them, you're going to have to shorten your set. Who's the bad guy now?
You?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
This man, I know it go, man. And I really wanted to touch base on this because, especially festivals, a lot of people don't realize the amount of work that goes into that whole stage management.
Hey, I'm laughing at you now, You know why? Because when you used to come and stand and watch me, I said, dear God, I want him to do it. I'm not going to push him in the back and encourage him. I want him to, I want the mosquito to bite him on his own, as I say, right? Every time I see you in a festival from a distance, and I don't put anything in the comments, I probably put like, great bro or whatever, but I would never put anything in the comments for stuff you post. But in my heart, I'm like, as Trini people would say, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm getting it to them girl.
Yeah, man, bro.
No, it's not a pretty thing. It's fulfilling, Don't get me wrong. There's something about it. I don't know if it's the same for you, but for me, when you actually see it come to life, especially for me, when I get the last person on, and I know that's pretty much after them is coming out, God bless and good night. And especially if it is done close to or on schedule, as rewarding as it can be. Because you say, boy, you get the whole thing done. It seems organized the whole night. But then when you go back and review what you did from 1 o'clock to 8, you say sometimes, yo, this is crazy.
Man, a lot of people don't realize how long those days be, man. All day you talking.
So, as I said, doing it, developed a fairly good relationship with the different people I've worked with. I will say, it is not has always been hunky-dory or yellow brick road. We have had challenges, and whether it be Arthur, Jason, whoever, you have to stand your ground. And not a disrespectful thing, but sometimes there are things you can do, and there are things you're gonna have to say, that can't work. Everybody, what I've noticed, they're gonna ask you to do something, regardless.
Give me an example.
In between is you have to say, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh, you know what? Why not do this?
You have to give me a specific example, but give me a hypothetical example.
Okay. You have to make a schedule change.
Yes.
And the schedule change is something that was known before the day of the event.
Yes.
and you wait until the day of the event, probably 45 minutes before the person is supposed to come on,
right,
and say, "Hey, I'm missing my flight."
Right. Now you're gonna be the beer bad news. I don't feel what to say, what to break it up.
All over the place. Some of what I'm saying, it connects. You remember early on where I said people I feel are motivated to do better and go the extra mile if they feel they're a part of the team. Yeah. So that scenario that I just described, you can't tell me you look at me as a team member at that point. If you knew 24 to 48 hours before the event, the person is not coming. Yeah. It's not like it might be. This is like definite. Yeah. Not even putting clothes in duffel bag, no trip to airport, not coming for whatever reason. Yeah. Just reach out to me at that point and be like, hey, FYI, shut him out. But right. Come the day of, how things going. Yeah, man. Give impression like artists at the hotel. So you get to the bottom of that now is the answer most question. Who picked up the performer and or which hotel or is the artist on the way? You can kind of get a feel as to the response. But this one was done really wicked. No, man, the man probably go get something to eat. Gave the impression the person was here. Yeah. And then out of nowhere, not gonna make it. But hey, life isn't perfect. As I said, you wish those things don't happen because what I've recognized, and I'm sure you could probably attest to this, is because people see you on stage making announcements, sound knowledgeable. Don't do this, They think it's your event, or that you have something to do with it to the point that you can.
You're part of management.
People come to me with some stuff sometimes. I'm like, yo, this what I'm doing here. This is it. They're like, but you must know the person. The rain come at a different time. I can't. But as I said, there's something about it. As statistic as it sounds, because people probably listening on and say, boy, with all that you're going through, then why do it? With all of that, there's just something about it that to me is rewarding. And as I said, especially bringing people, I don't know if this is it for you too, like if you're doing a stage show and you watch it grow from the early performance to see raw talent, to see how people, really try to adjust, especially the younger talent. And I always tell people, they're laughing up. Part of the thing I really pride myself on doing is giving energy to the early performer, just like it's the closer.
Yeah, I know that.
For somebody that's just starting, especially, it's very daunting to go out there and perform, especially if it's a big crowd. Yeah. It's nerve-wracking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so especially the crowd don't know you.
Yeah, so part of why you hear that WWE style, to me, I'm like, what better way to get somebody energized before they touch the stage, giving them the feeling like, the world is waiting, we are behind you kind of things. Yeah. It probably will help to dumb down a little of the nervousness. Yeah. I never make fun of the person before bringing them on. Like, boy, you're nervous and you better to go this to the crowd. I don't do that. I don't do that. Again, I'm not saying everybody shouldn't. I'm just saying there are certain things that I try not to build in my style because all I want you to do is to come on, do the best you can, and enjoy yourself at the same time.
Do you still get nervous when you're doing festivals? Yeah, hosting?
Everyone. Yeah. Even Silver Spring, everyone. From 8. When Mikey them will tell you, when I get there early, I'm on the mic, be like, people, 12:15. I'm balling out the time before. I know them probably saying, this guy, By the time it gets to 1 o'clock, I'm announcing myself. I don't care if it's just the vendors. I am making an announcement. It's 1 o'clock. Good afternoon, people. Welcome to blah, 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 blah. I don't care who is there. I'm saying that at the start of the event. It's one of the things I really, really, really like to be a part of is something that is on time. Scheduling and punctuality is my pet peeve, nemesis, whatever. I love it, I hate it, whatever. All of that balled up into one. Yeah. Love it one time, hate it another time. But at the end of the day, I feel that punctuality is addressed. It kind of dumbed down a lot of the other stuff. Yeah. When I look at the schedule, Alonzo is supposed to start DJing at 4 o'clock. 2:30, I'm like, hey, can somebody reach out to Alonzo? Oh, he's in Jersey. Yeah. That kind of stuff. So, when you get there, if everything can run, I'm not perfect, I don't want anybody here to say, oh, you sounding like that, so everything have to run to a team. No, I'm just saying, just do your part, and if we put everything together, it's supposed to be all right. But when you have people now trying to be the star, or you go over your time, or you're just not working with the system, it mess up the whole thing. Yeah.
You ever messed up on an intro? Stage intro?
I messed up on what was it, Freetown?
Freetown,
when they came to DC. You remember that thing?
Yeah. So what the
I think I called them they're Freetown, right?
Yeah, Freetown Collective.
Yeah, I think I call them Freedom. Collective or something. Big time, jacket up, WWE style, freedom. But the way I was announcing it, I hear the hustle. The way I was announcing it, it sounded like Freetown.
Yeah.
Because I was doing it like the WWE style. So I said it wrong once.
Yeah.
Caught myself and made the adjustment to make it look like it was kind of more like I was playing with the words kind of thing. Another embarrassing scenario, make announcement and person don't come on stage yet. That is embarrassing, but this might happen to you. It's like you make the announcement, it's dead ear afterwards because the performer wasn't ready. But this was a long dead ear. Like sometimes you give it up for Alonzobashpodcast.
Right.
And then you get like a little pause and then the band come in.
Right. Play something,
dead ear to the point that the performer is all like not ready. Can you go back on? I'm like, okay, so what am I gonna go back on?
Now you gotta find words to say after you did that. People don't want to see you no more.
Major hype at that point and tell jokes or so. But for the most part, I usually I'm on point. I'm sure you've found different ways. Like you probably think you have it, and then last minute the words get fumbled or whatever, but you still catch it back and hope people don't catch it.
Yeah.
You can get distracted very quickly sometimes.
What I have learned, or I guess what works for me, always in the back of your mind have to be prepared for when things don't go right. That's in the back of your mind. What you're gonna say, what you're gonna do. And one of the things that I learned this from you too. One of the things, any event that I'm doing, especially festivals, always walk around and introduce myself to the vendors. Introduce myself to the vendors, write little notes or whatnot. Boom, 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 boom. So I always have that in my pocket in case I need to speak. Make sure I'm big up. Check out so and so. Bam, 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 bam. To pick up that time. Because I ain't no comedian. That's a thing that's natural. But information, I've learned that information is one thing people are always, even though it might seem that they might not be paying attention.
What's the best festival you felt you have done so far? I'm talking like one, like when you finish and you say you're driving off, like when you actually finish, either you get paid from promoter, then you're driving, he's knocking in your face and you have a little time to reflect. Which one you're driving from? And you say, okay, they will remember my name, Alonzobashpodcast.
I would say the carnival. That's I'd say the carnival. That's where a lot of people kind of, because that gig is consistent. Yeah, like you said, man, at the end of the day, when you say good night, like,
that's why.
It's good because, as you know, man, this hosting thing, especially when deal with a lot of different artists. Like you say, you'll have a schedule, right? You say artist B and artist C. When all of a sudden artist C feel he bigger than artist B, and he need B.
Pick up here. I'm not saying it's a joke, I'm trying to get to the crux of this. Do you see that too? Meaning the whole the day of night. You know what's funny? And tell me if I'm wrong on this. Like prior to the event, everybody seems cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We could drink a beer, whatever.
Everybody
It's like, is this the same person that I was talking to? To your point. Do you think there is an issue with the whole I feel a bigger than you kind of concept, not just with performers, but even with DJs? I don't know if you ever had to like host / handle the DJ part of it with some of these festivals also. How do you deal with that?
Man, I've just like mentioned, artists and DJs. Now my thing is, I always say, one time me and a DJ kind of clash, and I had to let them know, listen, you got to take your cues from me. Because they were trying to tell me, yo, you got to take you from... I said, listen, man, you got to take the cues from me. Because I'm the one standing in front of the crowd. Yeah. See what I'm saying? And I'm the one introducing you. So if I don't tell a DJ what to play, but I'm in there all day. As you know, you're there all day. So you have a kind of vibe of what the crowd needs. You see what I'm saying? So I might say, hey, listen, man, start off with this. And then I'm going to come do this, boom, 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 and you do your thing after that. Well, nah, all that kind of food, all that kind of stuff. Because what if you have to realize, as a host, man, I'm not going to set you up for failure. Because if you fail, we all look bad. You see what I'm saying?
Tired of coming home to a mess? Sick of your office looking like a disaster zone? Say hello to MNS Pro Clean LLC. We're not just cleaners, we're mess-busting superheroes. From stubborn stains to dusty corners, we tackle it all. Our team swoops in with eco-friendly products and state-of-the-art equipment, leaving your space spotless. Whether it's your cozy apartment or bustling office, we've got you covered. No job too big, no grime too tough. Imagine walking into a sparkling clean space without lifting a finger. That's the M&S Pro Clean Magic. Don't waste another minute scrubbing. Call us now, 443-509-9418, and experience the Pro Clean difference. Your future self will thank you. M&S Pro Clean, where cleanliness meets excellence.
Hey, DMV, is your car giving you trouble? Look no further than MB Auto Repair LLC. They are not just fixing cars, they are reviving dreams on wheels. From mysterious engine noises to stubborn transmissions, their expert, certified, and experienced mechanics tackle it all. From oil changes and maintenance, brake service, tire service, etc., affordable pricing with transparent quotes. That's the MB Auto difference. They are fast, reliable, and honest. Don't let car troubles stall your life. Swing by MB Auto Repair LLC. Your vehicle deserves the best, and so do you. MB Auto Repair LLC, your car's new best friend in the DMV. Call today, 410-444-0500.
So you got that situation. Then once again with the artist, the schedule is okay. Artist B, because that's just your example. That's for example purpose. Let's say Buju comes on at 7, right? All right. Scissor comes on at 8. Now there's two reggae / dancehall, right? But it's two different energies. And then you got let's say you got Elephant Man ending the show. That's energy, right? At the end. All of a sudden, for example, Buju said, management say, but Buju, should really come on, me care what the schedule say, but the artist, you know what I mean? And then when they change up the whole situation, now you're looking like, man, that's not my call to make.
It's left up to you to still try and guide the crowd in what's happening, because they're looking at you like the person to guide them through what's happening, good, bad, or in between. Your ability to win them over also comes from them believing in what you're doing. Like when you say, okay, next performer at 7:30, 8 o'clock, nobody don't touch the stage. By the time you come on 8 o'clock, you're not really, you can look in the crowd, you can see them looking at you like, man, get off the stage, man. What you saying?
They didn't pay to come to see you. And that's another thing too. There's some people that come to event because a lot of times they might see the schedule of the performers coming on at a certain time. So they come and expecting.
Do you prefer that? Do you prefer something put out before? Like when you go to some of these bigger type events, like your Jiffy Lube Center, sometimes when you go, you have like 5 people performing. It's outlined on a chalkboard, Alonzo at this, and that's what happens. That's what happens.
I agree to that aspect, but let's be honest, our people, there's always a mishap, man. So,
but Alonzo, and this where I'm glad you really took this right turn with this, because this is a question I have to ask. When I go to these other shows and I see it work that way, I'm saying, what is it that those people just have more in their entertainment budget to hire a professional so-called stage crew that can get stuff moved in and out, because sometimes, I have to be play fair. What I've seen that most of these big companies use, the equipment is on wheels. So if you have like band A coming in and they want to use their band, and band B have like a 50-piece band coming in afterwards, the stuff that band B is coming in on is on wheels. So when the first band is finished, they just wheel out the drum set, this set, that set, and move it out of the way, and then you just wheel in others. I don't see that at these events that I'm doing. So they don't have that flexibility to so-called move stuff in and out that quickly. But here's where I'm saying the punctuality thing needs to improve, because the more it continues like this, it's getting worse, because everybody's a star, even if they're not at star status yet. Have you seen some of these so-called early people sometimes? They have made it swag and drip, as the saying goes. But I'm like, bro, you have it in reverse. Get your craft under control and iron out a killer performance routine. Before you start get to the 90 million people in your entourage, and when you announce you're not ready yet because you're still drinking and all that kind of crap. I'm like, come on, man, you're not there yet. You're not at the stage that you can say you're not ready to take the stage yet because you're drinking with your friends.
One thing I would say with the big festivals, though, when you're doing big festivals, I don't know the fact that these people do this like they're 9 to 5, like every day. So even though they might not be doing it, they pretty much do it every weekend, or at least 2-3 times a week. So they know it, they come like second nature, because like you said, everyone has a role, and if there's a problem, they know exactly who to go to. Like if your job is to host, that's your job. There's a stage manager. The stage manager job is to make sure the managers for the artists is ready when, time call. and everything goes to a certain. And the next thing too,
as I said, the on-time thing, I know stuff is gonna go over. I'm not saying if it says 6 to 7, 59, you're walking off kind of thing. But sometimes it just seems unnecessary. It's 7 o'clock, the bass player parking. I'm like, so what am I supposed to do? You can't do anything because you have to wait for the bass player. Hopefully nothing was wrong that caused a bass player to be late. But I'm like, y'all knew it was 7 o'clock at least 2 weeks ago. Probably you could have just leave a little earlier, but you adjust and you move on. As I said, this area, I've worked with quite a few and I appreciate the opportunity. I know there is politics involved so far as who feel, you should work a particular event, Again, being from Jamaica, I'm not going to just box myself into doing Jamaican type events. You know what I'm saying? I feel I'm bringing a service to the table. If you feel it complements what you do, fine. Goodbye or in between. But I don't approach it like it's a Jamaican host or just do Jamaican type event. I try to partner also with people that I feel, we can work together. Sometimes I have to walk away from stuff because I just see the bass coming from a distance. I'm like, miss me with that one. You put me, you can put me in an environment that come day off, people go and see me responding to stuff that I'm not going to be able to go on the mic and say, all right, crowd of people, here's what was really going on. But they're just going to see me pretty much blowing a gasket backstage because you're messing with my money.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. That's my, people come to me and they say, bro, why is it that when you do those shows, you look like you're about to kill somebody backstage? You never smile. I said, because I am working. And it's a weird dynamic, It's entertainment that's being provided. I guess they feel as they're being entertained, you should be enjoying yourself. Okay, so I'm hosting. I go and have Laquita come and I take a wine with Laquita. Then this other one come and it's front and back. And then I'm supposed to be introducing the person so the band stops playing. Dead silence enough. You know why?
Yeah.
Because I am whining on the two girls. So what? I'm supposed to do that and look hard for the crowd and then go and dap up my friend and be like, boy, G Nice. Boy, you have the two girls. Oh, wicked. No. Those two girls, when them coming now and doing the backing up, I have my Heisman trophy hand like this. I'm like, not today. They're on the work. Don't trade that.
Wow. That's G Nice, man. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, other than that, it's been more good than bad.
Yeah.
After all that has been said up to this point, it's definitely more good than bad. Building relationships, get to meet people. I get to work with some really good people over the years. Shout out to Romain Burger. To this date, knock on wood, wherever it is. That guy and his team came to Culture Fest to do a sound check. And if I could just take that as a template and say, performers, if you behave like this at every sound check, life is great. Man, discipline. Come on, bro. That guy, I was totally impressed. Let me say, discipline, man. Be on time, never, when I'm my time, man, you, When it was their time, go on stage, do what I need to do. What time we need to be back, boom, boom, out.
Yeah, Romain Vogue was one of them people. I need to interview Romain. I interview him at Culture Fest, actually, but to do a sit down. That guy is very humble, man. Very just laid back, smiling. No worry, that guy at all, man.
It's funny, the flip side of that, Adrian, Bears manager. Jesus, right. This guy, Iron Fist, I've not on this guy. Put it out there. Hey, and it's not bad enough. It's not bad. It has to be that way. In order for Bears to deliver the product that he has delivered over the years, that's how that person has to be. This guy takes 0 prisoners, bro. 0 prisoners. But it run the way it's supposed to run, because doing a Berry show, again, people just receive and say, okay, and just walk out, sing, jump up 2 times, and then walk back off. Bears is up there in age, first of all, been that way for quite some time. And just to be on the road that much year in, year out, it takes a toll. It takes a toll, but that's always a good show to see. Memorable shows, while I didn't have anything to do with this one, to date, from what I've heard people say, that Sizzler show at Howard Theater, he just started traveling again, and I think he did one in Miami, and then DC, I think, is a second show. I've heard people say quite a lot of things about just the energy that night, the vibe that Sizzler bring. Sometimes you have that called a perfect storm, where the vibe, the night, everything just wicked. Yeah, from what I've heard, that Sizzler show is a wicked show.
Yeah,
some decent stuff has come through the area. You have had some duds, but DC has benefited from some good stuff. As a matter of fact, we fast forward and put you on the so-called interview chair real quick. What's your feeling about Baltimore Carnival this year?
Well, this year, Baltimore Carnival Committee has teamed up with Baltimore City. I'm not sure the extent of the. Well, to be honest, I am kind of sure. Let me be honest. Actually, right now, it's funny that we're talking right now, and one of my interviews with Dr. Elaine Simon is being aired right now as we speak, because you have called me earlier on, so that's pre-recorded. The one with Dr. Elaine Simon.
Oh, the lady,
the president.
Okay.
You see, what's my view on Baltimore Carnival as far as what exactly?
It came from the whole DC Carnival, and then Baltimore started doing something. I know it has been, when I say started, meaning Baltimore is now getting the focus, right? Yeah. And if that is going to be representative of the area, do you feel it has the potential to become something like so-called recognized as like your Miami carnivals and stuff like that? I feel for this area by now, we should have something where our areas looked at like Miami and Atlanta and spaces like that.
I agree. I mean, at this point in Baltimore Carnival, definitely the last couple of years have gotten stagnant. I believe that at this point, the Carnival should be one of the biggest in the Northeast areas outside of New York. I mean, we have the space, we have the longest route. Yeah, we have. I think it's a collect. I don't think there's one person, and I'm not saying this because, the president and I, you're cool, whatnot. But it's really a collective. And what I mean by a collective, band leaders have a role to play. The mask makers have a role to play. One of the biggest challenges is sponsorship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges is sponsorship. Prime example, a lot of the carnival in the U.S. is not cheap, especially in Baltimore. A lot of the police you have to pay for, the sanitation you have to pay for, and a lot of this money have to be made with folks actually paying to get into the park, because you have the street parade and then you have the park. But most festivals here in the U.S. outside of Baltimore Carnival is free, but none of them is as large as how because we actually have a street parade. And that's where a lot of the expenses come from.
Oh, so these other places for the most part don't do the street park?
Not as large as Baltimore, Washington, not as large as.
But stay with me for a second. What is it though that caused those other places to so-called have that hype? Because I'm saying, just like you said just now, we have the resources, which is space, right? I think there's definitely more than enough parks in this area that you can keep the big outdoor fets and the wet fet and your this, that, and the other. So I don't think the space resource is an issue. So my thing is, what product is being offered in these other states that cause it to be people leaving from the DMV area in mass exodus numbers to go down there and spend off rent and mortgage and come back up after 4 or 5 years?
I think it's marketing. Marketing. For one example, Miami. Most people go to Miami for the parties, and the parties is outside the carnival. So people fly down there from Tuesday or whatnot. The carnival is like the Sunday, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
So from Tuesday to Saturday, it's mostly a lot of events before the carnival.
Yeah, that's like fet after fet after fet.
Right. So a lot of those, and a lot of those promoters from out of New York. A lot of them from New York. Of course, you have some here from the DMV as well.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of marketing around that. As far as the carnival itself, Miami Carnival has that. It's probably the closest thing to the Caribbean because of the atmosphere. It's warm,
warm weather,
that type of vibe. So they have that too. And I think Miami Carnival does a great thing. But I believe I've actually interviewed John, who's from the Miami Carnival Committee. They actually do a very good job with their marketing and reaching out to other, like, for instance, they teamed up with the Miami. What county is that? It's a Broward County. They team up with the tourism. They team up with the tourism board in that particular area, so that kind of helps market their carnival. Stuff like that.
That's cool. That's a big piece, You have somebody on the inside from the government side that can push along some of these issues, because you see, when the so-called issue comes up, if you don't have somebody in that corporate room, to say, hey, what can we do for the carnival people? But by the time it comes to the street, you see, you're dead. You definitely need people on the inside.
Yeah, definitely people. Do they have a Caribbean Affairs Committee in Baltimore? I would say yes.
With this.
I would say yes.
We partner with some people from Montgomery County for the festival in Silver Spring.
Yeah.
I mean, partner to the point that year to year, they bring people there, have them tent set up, encourage people to come over to explain what they do on behalf of the Caribbean community within Prince George's County, within Montgomery County, within the different counties. So most of those counties have that presence inside. So I'm just saying, from Baltimore's perspective, is there such a division, or is it just you probably get a couple of sponsors to pay for some cheers or something like that?
They do, but the reason I say but they do, but once again, it's a continuing support system, I would say. Yeah. A lot of people depend on, I would say, in my opinion, could be right, could be wrong. I think a lot of people, Dr. Lynn Simon she's been around a long time, so she have a lot of, she know a lot of who is who in the political space. Outside of that, I feel like there's other people that needs to kind of step up, if that makes some sense. And there are some people that step up over the year that I've seen. I think I'm free enough to call their name. This morning is one of the people I've seen kind of stepped up. But this year actually was my first time going to City Hall when they had the the release of Baltimore Carnival. Guys like DJ Smalley, is stepping up, but they have a couple of people that are stepping up. I just think for the last couple of years, a lot of these people are getting, up in age, get up in age. So I don't think it's a thing as people say, let's pass the torch. It's something that the person has to be groomed.
Okay. Know the lay of the land and how to operate within that environment.
Yeah. Because from the outside looking in, man, it's a lot of work, man.
It definitely, what I watch, I mean, I'm not a part of any type of committee to get insight as to how stuff like that is planned. I look at some of like the promo, which, your flyers and promotions leading into that time frame. And over the years, like last year and this year, to me, it definitely seemed like Baltimore's people becoming more excited, especially homegrown Baltimore people. It's like at one point, I think Baltimore is looked at like an afterthought carnival. Yeah. And now it's looked at as where people seem to be excited. The quality of the acts, I think Bungie coming again this year or something like that, So
well, once again, that's another thing. Once again, that event is actually outside of the Baltimore Carnival committee itself.
Really?
Yeah, it is. But it go back.
So so that would be a scenario where a promoter just doing something during that time frame, but it's not the carnival committee people putting on that event.
Exactly. So it goes back to like the Miami. So it's the same thing in Miami. You will have a lot of events around the carnival.
So you feel that hurts or helps?
It helps. It helps. It helps. It definitely helps. It definitely helps. I think one of the challenges for the committee is, and this is not just for Baltimore, other committees as well. I think sometimes they want to kind of benefit from that, whether directly or indirectly.
So there's no partnership form like these people that's doing the Bungie event. Do they partner with you guys and say, okay, committee members, you can get discounts on tickets or do like a giveaway or something like that?
Well, let me correct you with that. Correct you right there. A lot of people think that I am not a committee member. I am not a committee member of Baltimore Carnival. I'm not a committee member. I'm an employee just like everybody else. They hire me, as needed. But just like you, I do pay attention. I do pay attention. That's going on in the front office.
Right, guys.
It do helps. It do helps because, like I said, what happens is, this is how I look at it, man. I think it's Santana Promotions is bringing Bungie. When you have promoters that's doing events outside of the quote-unquote carnival, it also, like you said, it draws people to the area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that alone. So when people come, they will attend the different carnivals or go into the park or whatever. So that's why I say it's a collective. It's not just one thing,
Those people are expensive, So that's why I'm saying I don't know if the committee or, pretty much have like a fund that's dedicated to entertainment, to go after a big name person, like a signature type thing, or they're just looking to do local homegrown people. I probably hope that other outside promoters bring a lot of those people.
Well, they do have a budget for that. Like this year, they're bringing Ding Dong, the soca artist from Trini. And they're bringing Nyla Blackman, Pampa from...
Stop right there, sir. I know the interview technically is supposed to be primarily about me, but I want to put you on the spot here for a couple of things. What are your thoughts on Miss Blackman and her seemingly sexier approach to her career? Or am I off with my assessment?
Well, since we talking, I've talked to Ansel, the manager, for the longest time. We're supposed to be booking this interview from 19 long, but you know how it is, man. He's trying to stay focused on one person for too long and move on and come back.
Yeah.
Nyla Blackman is very interesting to me for the fact that if you don't understand her family history.
Exactly. I do know a little about that because when she came on to the scene, that was a part of the big build-up, is the lineage that's associated with, her family.
Yes. So her family is like the Marley family of
yeah.
Pretty much that's what it is. So this picture, one of Bob Marley granddaughters, like Nina Blackman. I just think Nina Blackman I guess decided to, the best way should I say this respectfully, I just think she just decided to, you know what, I'm just gonna create my own image. She's very talented, so she's not raunchy. I would say that she's not raunchy. But I just think she just want to walk in her own image, and her music.
It's like a slight breakaway from the family name, but not dissing the family name because she's trying to carve her own niche. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, that's not really her. She could sit down and play the piano, play the guitar, do an acoustic piece.
Okay, all right. So that's where I'm going with this, because for you to say that's not really her, I think society as a whole now has become very visual.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the way how, to me, sometimes I'm like, wow, girl, really? Just from a standpoint of it takes away from how talented she really is.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you do.
Arthur brought her, to this day I tease him about that, the so-called, them Just Start tour. There was a show I did with Arthur one time at Hall Theatre. That's how all of them, the young in them. It was Turner, Preedy, Nyla, I think, and Nessa Perpry. Ask G Nice, shut up, man. This is soca. I know what I'm doing. When I heard about the lineup with her, I was like, Kirkley, everybody had like one song just bubbling up. Arthur was able to catch all of them at that point. To this day, I look back at that, I'll be like, yo, bro, I don't know who made that call, but they were all budding people who became something eventually,
Arthur got that vision, man.
That dude was on that show too, and I didn't even recognize him. Oh my God, the guy there, Mind Your Funky Business guy,
Fimba.
Okay, do you know Fimba was living in DC all this time?
Yeah, man. I know Fimba very well, man.
No disrespect. Fimba was my HVAC guy.
Yeah.
Alonzo.
Yeah.
I hope this is being recorded. I can attest to this. I'm living in DC. Fimba used to come and deal with our HVAC stuff. I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way, HVAC stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's where I'm going with this. The show I was doing, Fimba was supposed to perform. I didn't know him as Fimba. So when now it's time to get introduced, and I kid you not, Alonzo, we're in the dressing room at Howard Theatre. Fimba come up to me and be like, yo, bro, what's up? Ask Arthur. Arthur is looking at me like, where the hell you know Fimba from? Because they're looking at Fimba as Fimba not even in this area and being from where from where he's from, Caribbean country where he's from. So when he came here, I think people didn't realize that he was actually living in this area. So when the song bust, I think they were from his home country. But anyway, dude, it's time for me to introduce the guy, Alonzo. And for some strange reason, I could not put 2 and 2 together to connect Fimba the performer. And I was like, yo. So he kept saying, yo, G, what's up?
Yeah. You're like, wait a minute.
I was like, yo, wait. So long story short, it was Fimba, and then Fimba got added last minute. It was kind of like he was in the area type of thing. It was like all in them so-called early rookie stages, but but back to her real quick, as I said.
But real quick on Fimba, man. Fimba and I were in Africa together. We were in Sierra Leone. Real cool, humble guy, man.
Man, I ran into him at another party, and these are the type of parties I'm talking. A girlfriend of mine from Trinidad, from 50th, they flew in Skinny Fabulous on the deal to perform at a house in Bethesda. Right? And word got out that him was there. So Fimba was obviously from being from the area. So he came to and just to hear him Skinny and how them talk, you could just tell and say, this is a guy that drink a 6-pack of beer with, very cool, humble guy, And then Skinny Fabulous even worse on top of that. It was just a little vibe right here, so with them and things. So he, to your point, you would never know that's Fimba the performer, put it that way. Until it's time to take the mic. I like that kind of energy with these guys. Where they still understand that when the lights are off, it's just regular Alonzo or regular GRT. But when them off stage and you can't say nothing to them.
I think you know another story about that whole thing. That's in the radio thing, man. Artists come into the studio, put a rag over their head and just have their head down until the studio until it's time. I'm like, bro, serious, man. But back to Nala. Let's finish up on Nala real quick. You were saying about that.
Disrupted a lot in the industry. Whoever came up with the idea with the rag over to give the hard look, yeah, that hurt. But that the area, as I said, for DMV as a whole,
Yeah.
I can honestly say we have gotten some good entertainment to come through the area. So give a shout out to the promoters, because it's not a cheap game, so to speak. It's very expensive. And again, people who consume this product just think sometimes it's just as easy as saying, Marshall, can you come DC on Saturday? And I'm saying, all right, 1 second, let me pack my bag, I'll be right there. People just see the person run on stage, jump up and wave a flag or whatever the type of genre it is, but you enjoy yourself and then you leave and not knowing the effort it goes in sometimes to bring that to the table. So hopefully the promoters still can find the access to those resources, especially the money, because most of these shows not making any money. I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
Sometimes they struggle to break even, for nothing more than it's rough out there. These are expensive ventures that these people going on. So it's hard to get that money back without passing the cost back on to the consumer, which is nice, like a $40, $50 ticket.
Yeah. You actually interviewed Hector from Hookie last week. And he talked about that same thing, the production courses. Could I ask him how have you been able to maintain that ticket price for the consumer? Stuff. So G Nice, man, before we wrap it up, man, I have this part of the segment. I have this book that I read brought a couple of years ago. It's called 2,000 Questions About Me. What I've done, I've turned it around, and it's gonna be 2,000 questions about you. So you just pick one number from 1 to 2,000. And that number you pick is going to be the question that's going to be asked of 12. All right, man. That sounds like your favorite number.
It kind of just came to mind once you went and pick a number. I had to talk for a while until I picked one. So 12.
All right. Which words or phrases do you most overuse? Which word or phrase do you most overuse?
No disrespect.
Yeah.
It's funny, I did an interview recently. I forgot what it was. Prince Royal. Shout out to Prince Royal. Good guy, man. Good guy.
Yeah.
Type in the comment section for the post. I mean, nice, whatever. But him said, but no disrespect. I'm man. Best thing I can tell you. All right. I will say thank you very much for this platform to just vibe a little and chat like we do, especially at the shows and stuff. Hopefully there's something that can come from it, especially if somebody were to listen and just get a little insight as to what it is like. As in the hosting field. I won't discourage anybody from doing it. I wouldn't say don't do it, but you have to be organized and you have to be prepared. And even with that, it's still not going to work. 100%. So if you're okay with putting out 100% and it turn out all right, don't take it bad. That's a rough little feel right there, but the end result can be accomplished if people just work together. Simple.
So true. Yes, well, G Nice, man, give thanks once again, man. I really, really appreciate your hard work.
Anytime, man.
And everything, all the tips and all the advice you have given over the years. You always have a good reason, man.
Check your email. We are under new management. So any advice that I pass on from this point going forward, small fee that you're going to have to donate. I send you the pay scales.
Okay.
We do take credit cards, right? Cash out.
All right. Nice. Well, thanks for giving me the heads up, man. I appreciate that.
Real all the best to you, man. And just continue to do your thing, man. You build your brand right. People will respect and continue to respect you for what you do because you do it professionally, bro. Trust me, and I tell you, don't change that. Don't lower your standard for none of these clowns. You know what I'm saying? Because you still have to answer to who you're working for. So keep doing your do, bro.
Appreciate it. Yes.
All the best.
And that's a wrap on another episode of Alonzobashpodcast. If you're loving the content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Your reviews mean the world to us, so take a moment to leave one if you can. It really helps us grow and reach more awesome listeners like you. Speaking of awesome, share this podcast with your friends and family. Now here's a little treat for you. Use the code BASH for 10% off your next purchase from any of our amazing sponsors. You can find their details in our episode descriptions. Until next time, as Alonzo would say, stay focused on your goals and dreams. See you on the next episode.
every smile I smile. Sometimes it takes a closer look to really realize, to see beneath the jacks of many faces wearing smiles. If our visions were x-ray, we see the evil in their eyes. And I know every friend a friend. Enough of them they're around, but just a few are genuine. Connect yourself with Jah and you will feel their energies. No fun to see you fall and would have trade for anything. But I tell you, just be careful of the ones you call your friends. Cause enough of them are snake, them filled with jealousy. And they will let you down. And keep an eye out for the ones you call your family. Them laugh with you today, pretend them genuine. And they will let you down. Nothing them always have your interest at heart. And move like you know, so them will sit down and plot. Now for them rather see you behind bars. Never get too comfortable, free them from your icon. Cause if you love them, sell you out for one burger. Imagine what them would have do for millions and billions. Smaller your circle, add the better, my brother. Things I get so dread might have to pre your own father. And just be careful of the ones you call your friends. Cause enough of them a snake, them filled with jealousy. And they will let you down. And keep an eye out for the ones you call your family. Them laugh with you today, pretend them genuine. And they will let you down. Eyes them stay peel like a orange. Plus you're deep on my side, no need for be worried a lot. Rasta man and no fool, no watch the grin. Might bust a little off, that no mean me not watching you. I man been burnt too many times. Imagine how it hurt when you trust them till you're blind. I tell you the truth, people no nice. If I that you did a pre-beg, you think that over twice. Just be careful of the ones you call your friends. Cause enough of them a snake, them filled with jealousy. And they will let you down. And keep an eye out for the ones